Oh, okay. So you started your podcast, and I'm sorry, I think you might have said how long you've had it, but tell me again how long you've had it. And
I started it in 2022 and I've
right.
recorded 80 episodes.
Nice. That's great. And
So,
do you have different guests on, or I listened to your one on dog food, of course. When Dana reached out to me, I was like, yes, definitely. I need to have this woman on. So,
so I do a combination of things. Yes, I have guests. I
mhm,
started with a co-host.
mhm,
So one of my store managers, she was actually like my staff development coordinator and organized trainings and all that kind of stuff. Emily Claire, she started out as my co-host and she still is occasionally on,
nice.
but she was recruited by Raw Dynamic Pet Food, which
Oh,
yeah. So, but it's a great story, even though I lost her
they
from
stole her from you?
stole her from me. Don't
That's
worry, I give them shit every time I
you
see them.
should. You should.
But it was a good move for her. Do you know what I mean? Like it was an
Absolutely.
opportunity that she just couldn't pass up.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
she was in tears telling me,
Aw,
Layla,
yeah.
she was in tears telling me. So I'm like, Em, I'm happy for you. This is a good thing. We can still,
Mhm.
yeah, it's good. It's all good.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
she's moved on, but she still occasionally comes on. But I love when she does because we just have just a great dynamic, I think. But
Yep.
anyhow, so then I went by myself,
Mhm.
and so sometimes I mean I've never done it completely by myself. Do you?
Uh-huh. Yeah, I have. I was just thinking I'm gonna start doing solo episodes again. But people started to approach me and I was like, yeah, okay, let's do it, because I cover, like, I always do training and behavior, but I also was covering like some animal cruelty laws and that type of stuff because we had a bunch of animal cruelty cases down here. I'm in Florida. Don't
Oh,
say anything about me living in Florida. Just saying. And and also hurricanes and all that kind of stuff.
yeah.
So, but it worked out perfectly for me actually to have a lot of guests on. So, I'm going to go back to doing some individual episodes. And then of course, I'll always have guests on because it's good for people to hear from other people other than myself.
Mhm.
It's I want people to get all the knowledge from all the people that are
Same.
really, we're out here, we're our motives and our intentions are pure, and we just really want to help the pets
Yep.
live better, healthier, and in turn that helps people too,
It
you know
does.
lowers their
100%.
stress,
Yep.
so
Yep.
for sure. But yeah, I do it all different ways.
I'm gonna have to listen to some of your solo episodes. Maybe you will inspire me.
Maybe, or you might be like, shit, I'm not doing this is whatever. Because sometimes I will tell you, I have flown by the seat of my pants a couple times,
Oh, I always do.
I'm
It's
like,
way more
I
fun like that.
I get an idea of what I want to do. Like, I want to cover house training, or I want to cover this or whatever. And I do, well, for that stuff, I don't have to do like research, but like on the legal stuff, I'll do a little research and stuff. But otherwise, it's like, yeah, I know what I'm talking about kind of thing.
Same. Yeah.
Not saying, oh, you're so the best or whatever, but just saying that I do the research. I've studied with the
Mhm.
best,
Mhm.
Karen Pryor, Ian Dunbar, Ian Billinghurst,
Yeah.
like the best of the best people.
When
So,
it's your
and
area of expertise, it's easy to just
mhm.
talk. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. And this wasn't the road that I started out on either, but it wound up that way. Going into pets, and I was just like, "Oh my god, this is my passion." So, and COVID was terrible, right? It was a shit show to say the
Mhm.
least. But it also opened opportunities for people like me and you to get out there, to get our information out there, and people listen. So that's why I say too, it's so cool now. We were doing it before it was cool, like the raw food. Now it's everywhere. Saturated, raw diet, and everything. But it's
Yeah.
nice. It's awesome.
Where in Florida are you?
I'm in Port St. Lucie, which is kind of like central West Coast ish, like
Y-
close to like West Palm.
Yeah, yeah. I
Yeah.
have a store in Port Charlotte.
Okay, that's on the other coast.
Far.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's too far.
I used to live in Tampa Bay.
Okay.
And I moved over here because I met Tammy, which was so random, such a crapshoot. I'm like, okay, you're so not in my area, but sure. And I have to tell you, not to get off on relationships, but the first pictures we sent one another were pictures of our dogs.
Aw,
It was like, here, this is, it's like, okay, this is a good person. I like this, you
that
know.
was definitely a
Yeah,
moment.
it's like a kismet kind of thing,
Yeah.
like, you're almost 200 miles away from me. I did not have you in this search radius, but whatever. So, it's too funny. But yeah, it's like yeah, this area is starting to grow more, but more like West Palm is more built up, of course. West Palm and Fort Lauderdale and all that stuff is a
Yeah.
lot very dog friendly. Even here too,
Nice.
but yeah, it's nice here. I come down here from Brooklyn originally, upstate New York, and in 95 I was like, I can't take any more snowstorms. I'm
Yeah.
out of here.
Yeah.
This is where my pet journey began really when I moved down here.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, and like you, because I had a dog who was ill,
Yeah.
They're like you said, they're our little angels, our little what did you say? Guardian angels.
Guardian
Um,
angels.
yeah. And I was reading through your kind of going into more of the entrepreneur side of things. I have took some notes here. I was reading on your the bio that Dana had sent me about, competing with box stores and you're in the pet industry, but yet there's PetSmart, there's Petco, there's others, but those are the two biggest ones. Um, they were my competition, which I didn't realize in let's see, I opened up my shop. I expanded in like, what was it? 2001 when I opened up my shop. And I had them coming in and I didn't know that spying on me. And I'm like, what? This
Oh,
is
you're
crazy.
kidding.
No, this one location was coming and spying on me. And I'm
Wow.
like, this is weird. Like, I'm just like here, like I'm just Maria, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when I saw that, I was rereading it this morning and I was like, "Oh, snap." So what it's so different now again, right? Competing with a box store
Mhm.
in 2025, but what are you finding in that? Like what made you like put that and look at that?
Well, independent pet stores are really the driving force for the true best health and wellness for your pets. PetSmart and Petco, Chewy, I'm sorry, at the end of the day, it's all about numbers for them.
Mhm.
The independent pet stores are passionate about what they do. You opened a store because I opened a store because we're passionate about offering customers better alternatives and talking
Mhm.
about it, talking about it all the time.
Yeah.
So, and that's pretty much the case across the country. There are so many independent pet stores and their voices need to be heard. We need to choose them more than we currently are over Chewy, Amazon Pet, PetSmart, Petco, Pet Supplies Plus.
Yep.
Hollywood Feed even is a massive chain now. So we really, I like to say every dollar is a vote.
It is
So
really.
yeah, it really is. So, they're there to help you.
Mhm.
And we all need to take more advantage of that. And in turn, it helps them um, thrive in their businesses because it's tough.
It
It's tough.
is. It is. I mean, small business period is
Yes.
tough. And then, some of the things that you were talking about, and, you're early on in your career, very niche, very niche. And it's like, but you made it, I made it. But now again, I feel like it might be a little bit more difficult, but also feel like if you hone your craft and you
Yes.
specialize it and your customer service and your care and your education, there's no requirements for education. But if you take that time to educate yourself, I'm going with you,
For
depending
sure.
on what you're educating
For
yourself in,
sure. For sure.
so that I think, I mean, do you think that's still a viable way to stand out in these days? Like for somebody who's up and coming now with training, or they're pet sitting, or they want their own retail shop.
So the service and the knowledge is key. I do think the swing, I think we need to get back to, I don't know about you, but I used to do a lot of in-store events. I'd
Yes.
even just have seminars and I would just talk about, goat's milk or whatever.
Mhm.
Um, I think I think we need to create those communal events again
Mhm.
because COVID divided all of us.
Indeed.
And even though we're 4 or 5 years out of that, I still think that we need more of that communal interaction again.
So agree with you, and at 100%.
Yeah.
I feel like, and maybe even technology has a little bit to do with it too, maybe a lot to do with it, depending on your viewpoints. But where it kind of removed us from
Yeah.
that interaction from
Mhm.
people, and
Mhm.
then of course COVID made it much, worse
Yeah.
on a different level. So, I mean, I was even thinking, and I know I'm gonna totally age myself, and I might edit this out, whatever, but I was thinking, like, back in the day, the musicians got together. There was Live Aid, there was Hands Across America, there was, what was it? Feed the Children, like, all
Yeah.
this stuff, and I'm like, "Where are the musicians today
Yeah.
getting together for causes?" They're nowhere,
Yeah.
even
Yeah.
even the ones that are still with us that were, doing that stuff back in the day in the 80s and 90s. So, but yeah, I think that kind of plays into the fact that more of that community and communal type of um situation is needed for sure.
And
100%.
I'm not saying don't use the internet ever.
Oh,
We all
me
use it.
neither.
We're all going to
Absolutely.
use it.
Every day. Every day. Every day.
So, but you will get so much more out of it if you start to create a relationship with your independent pet food store.
Yeah.
The people that work there, they love your dog. We used to have
Mhm.
people bring cats in all the time. We
Yeah.
do a cat rescue down in Florida. We have a
Oh,
resident
nice.
cat.
Where's that? Where do you do it in Florida?
So the store in Port Charlotte
Okay.
is 3 years old,
Okay.
and they found a really great local cat rescue. She does small dogs too, but
Mhm.
all foster based. But we started. They begged me about a year ago to have a house cat
Nice.
that they could adopt out. So we
Nice.
bought this nice little condo, and
Mhm.
they've adopted out over 30 cats in a year.
Wow. What's the name of it? I'm gonna jot it down too, but what's the name of the rescue?
The name of the rescue is,
This
I
is
might have to
working
get it
too.
to you. I don't know it off the top of my head.
Okay, that's cool. What about the name of your shop?
Healthy Pet Products.
That's right, okay.
Healthy Pet Products. And that's what my stores were in Pittsburgh. I do want to say I did not sell to a corporation when I sold my Pittsburgh
Yay,
stores. I
nice.
reached out to another company.
Mhm.
They have 2 stores in different suburbs of Pittsburgh. We were always great colleagues. We weren't in competition with one another, and they're 15 years younger than me.
Ah,
So I reached out to them a couple of years ago when I knew it was coming time, and I said, "Hey, do you think you'd want to buy me out?"
mhm.
And they were um, they were very interested, and their words were they were honored that I reached out to them. So
Nice.
I was
Very
able to
cool.
sell to another local. So
Nice.
which,
That's excellent. That
yeah,
is excellent because it kind of can keep your, if they're
message.
going to follow the same protocols and stuff,
Yes.
they're going to just keep that going.
Yep.
And the message, exactly. That's important too. And that's hard to come by, where you're going to find somebody who's going to purchase and continue on. I speak from personal experience on that with selling my uh, pet and my business in like I think it was 2008. I was like, oh, you've got to keep this going in these classes, and they just were not interested. But I
Yeah.
was like, okay, that's your loss, because it's good knowledge, and um, I kind of want that. I wanted that to continue on to get the message out. But
Hmm.
I digress on that.
I
But
know.
okay.